And now, live from Pod Cabin in Burbank, California, it's the Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Allison welcomes her guest. She's a comedian, writer, and ex-mistress of Bebop, lead singer of the California Raisins. It's Betsy Sidaro. And he's a writer, football analyst, and doctor of mustard. It's Dave Damashek. Tone Zone is here to tell us all about the new OnlyFans he created for his bare, naked-ass toes. I'm her husband, Daniel, saying hop on board the Love Bus and say hello to your new best friend, Allison Rosen.
Allison Rosen, Allison Rosen is your new best friend. Allison, with her the good times never end. Allison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Allison Rosen, Allison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little Cranachans. Welcome to another exciting episode of Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. That particular carbohydrate, which I had never heard of until a few minutes ago, was sent in on Patreon. Patreon.com/Allison Rosen by Abby. And I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Cranachan is how it's spelled. But according to Wikipedia, it is the uncontested king of Scottish desserts. It has cream, berries, oats, and whiskey. And now, no shade to Scotland and their offering of confections, but like uncontested king of Scottish desserts, are there other ones that it's running against? I would like to know. Anyway, I'm very, very excited for this episode. But usually before now, I tell you that patreon.com/Allison Rosen, all sorts of fun stuff.
Patreon.
Weekly bonus episodes of The Friend Zone, Zoom parties. It's time for me to schedule another Zoom party. There's a level where you can text me and I'll text you back. And then there's a new thing I've been doing called The Backstory, where for the Monday shows, I write up a thing where I say like how the person got booked, had I met them before, how I felt before the show, how I felt during the show, how I felt after the show. Just so much behind the scenes content. And people are loving it so far. Yeah. I got to write up my backstory for this week's Monday guest, John Ross Bowie. Anyway, very excited to welcome my guest. This is an all-star lineup. Betsy Sidaro, hello, welcome back.
Oh, hello. Thank you for having me back.
So excited to have you back. Tony has made some drops of various things you said, and they have quickly become my favorite drops. So even though you haven't been on the show, see, like that, whoa, we're going to have to make a drop of Tony. Even though you haven't been on the show in a little while, we've been hearing you every week. But it's nice to have you.
The California raisins are so cool.
Nice to have you in the flesh. Dave Damashek, hello and welcome. I think this is your first time on the Thursday show, but like your fifth time on the show?
I have no idea. It's too much. It's an embarrassment of riches for me, especially because, yeah, I know what the name of the show is, but I want to say a special hello to my new pal, the Thax Man. What's happening,
Tony
Thaxy?
Thaxton.
How you doing?
You could also do a Beatles classic, you know, the Thax Man.
That's right. Yeah.
Maybe work that one up. Workshop that.
Look, I'm happy to share the wealth of the Thax Man's friendship, but this is now the second friend. And remember, Dave, when you came on the Monday show, you gave me a little bit of shit for dropping a name. And
Yes.
I think it was on that show that Tony revealed that my real life friend, Marilyn Rice Cup, had become his friend. And I was like, what's going on here? And now you're going to be friends with Tony? I don't know.
Because he's the Thax Man. Yeah. Mary Lynn Rice Cup. I mean, you did it again. Right out of the gate. You went back. You called back to our last conversation just so you could drop the name again. It's outrageous.
I'm an evil mastermind.
Okay.
Some people say. I would like to also welcome my husband, Daniel, to the show. Hello.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Daniel, when Dave was last on, since we've already called back to that episode, we were calling Tony the Thax Man, and then I shared the time that you referred to yourself as the Q Man. That's what I thought you called yourself, but then I corrected myself, and I'm like, no, you called yourself Q Monster.
Sometimes.
Which one?
It depends. Sometimes I'm the Q man, like if I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Sometimes I'm the Q monster when I'm feeling the old what do you call it, the id. the more closer to the ear.
Quants.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? When I'm going in for that that extra slice of pizza.
I'm a little worried, though, about this marketing campaign that you've undertook here. I think you could get some people sliding into your DMs and otherwise that you may not be soliciting. If you're calling yourself Q or something, some variation on that, that could be a can of worms that you ain't
Yeah, all
looking to
those
crack.
James Bond fans.
Listen, at this point, I'll take any followers I can get.
Okay.
So if the Q followers, I'm fine.
Oh,
Listen,
nice.
I'll just lead them down a happier road.
Oh, that's nice.
We do
I hope that
have
happens.
a lot of stuff with a Q on it. You have like a ice
Yeah.
bucket. By the way, when does anyone need a home ice bucket? That's a relic of when you had your own bar cart and were serving up.
It's a question
drinks.
I asked when I received it. Not out loud.
Was it on
Yeah,
the
I
heels
figure
of
like
the ice
all of our
bucket
Q
challenge?
stuff will save us when the shit goes down. I'll just be like, look at all this Q stuff. I'm on your side, guys, and it'll get us past the checkpoint.
And then also, I gave you a copper cup, like to make a Moscow Mule in with a Q on it that you've literally never ever used.
I'm just saving it for that time when I'm going to make a Moscow Mule. Honey.
I don't know
Be-
why it seems.
Speaking of barware,
Okay.
I noticed before the show started that Dave is drinking water out of a glass. There's a brief conversation about it. Nothing fancier than a gentleman who pours his water into a glass on his desk and drinks it out of the glass.
Well, I appreciate you noticing it. I do it out of a sense of vanity because, yeah, we discuss, like, I consider things like how it comes off if my cup is too big, and then I also, if it's too small, then I look at it and I'm frustrated that there isn't more water in it. Sort of like when the apocalypse comes and you look at that ice bucket and feel like, wouldn't it be nice if we had some ice in it? But we can't make ice because there's no electricity anymore. So it you know. I guess, but anyway, shout out to you. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah.
Q.
Wait, let me see this cup. Now, patreon.com/Allison Rosen was where you go to get the video of this. Look at that.
Nice.
That is nice and fancy.
It's a nice cup.
I worked for a guy. I worked for a guy who was the CEO, and he always had a glass pitcher of water on his desk, and he would just pour it, and it was just like, this guy, this is why he's the guy.
Yeah.
He probably came in the mail room and just brought in his pitcher of water, and they were like,
Promote him!
kid,
We gotta promote him!
yeah, we got an office for you.
Is he Don Draper? We got to get back to the days where that was just acceptable as a society, that you had a variety of boozes in your personal office there.
Totally.
What will you have? You know, there was a better day. I know that the whole point of Mad Men was like, can you believe their behavior? That's outrageous, you know, but there were some good things too.
The real point was they had bar carts.
Daniel,
Exactly, yes.
my the editor-in-chief of Time Out New York, when I worked there, not the there was a changing of the guard while I was there, but the one they brought in also had, I can't remember if it was a carafe, but it was glass. It was either a glass carafe or a glass pitcher on his desk. And I was just like, this is a well-hydrated man.
Well hydrated, yeah.
That
That's what
does
he's
seem
trying
to be what
project.
happens when you get to the top. And he also had a little mini refrigerator in his office that was under his desk. And I was like, I always wondered what goes on in there. I
Very
never ever
cool.
saw him take anything out of it.
I bet it's full of just string cheese.
That's what mine would be. I sometimes I travel with light string cheese.
Smart. It's a good little snack.
It really, and you'd be surprised how long it stays fresh. But sometimes I'll find like a stick of string cheese in my purse that I forgot about, and that is no longer fresh.
Right.
It definitely
Yeah.
has turned. You can tell it turns because it gets like the plastic puffs out. Like the cheese itself is off gassing.
Yes. Yeah.
Snapchat.
I am remiss. Tony, I forgot to introduce you. I'm sorry. Hello to Tony, the bad boy of podcasting. Now, I am. You thought I was going to introduce you, but my gum's still flapping.
Oh, no, I never expect to be.
Too busy talking about Mary Lynn.
Yeah. months and months of not remembering to introduce you till like minute 30 or 40. And then I was really on my game for like a month and a half there. And I've fallen off again because we're at like minute 12. Hello. Welcome.
Hi. Thanks. It's good to be back. I missed last week, but I'm back.
You're back and better than ever.
Than ever? No, not true. But I'm here.
But you're getting by. Now,
by.
There's a time on your T-shirt. Again, there's a Patreon perk, the video. It looks like it says 9:30. What are we looking at?
It does. It says 9:30.
But why?
It is a shirt for the 9:30 Club, which is one of my favorite venues. It's in Washington, D.C. I've played there many times, and it's always a special place to play for me because I used to drive up when I lived in Richmond, Virginia. I would drive up to shows in D.C. Because they would get a lot better shows than Richmond. So I would go there a lot, and then years later got to play there a bunch, and so it was always exciting to play there.
That's so cool.
Does something special happen at the time 9:30, or is the address like 9:30, but they decided to make it look like a digital readout?
Neither. They had an older location that I never had been to. I don't know if it has something more to do with the old location and they just kept the name. I really don't know. I've actually always wondered that, but never bothered looking it up.
If anyone from the 9:30 Club is listening, please write in. Let us know. ARIYNBFshow@gmail.com.
Is 9:30 like the perfect time to rock and roll?
I mean, is there ever a bad time, Betsy?
That's true. Nope. Never ever. There's never a bad time to rock and roll, man.
Dave, you mentioned being very vain earlier, and that segues right into something I wanted to share with you guys. I had a meeting earlier today, and I expected it to be a Zoom meeting, but it was a Google Meet or a Meet Google, or I don't know what it was. And I was like, this is a whole new platform. I don't know how this is going to go. It was fine, but it's weird how accustomed to Zoom I am. Anyway, that's not the vanity part. The vanity part is near the end of the meeting, one of the guys was saying earnestness. There was a question of like tone and earnestness, and he said earnestness a few times, and then he's like, earnestness, is that a word? And then instead of just sitting there and allowing people to think I was smart, opened up my mouth and I said, is it earnesty? And then, because it suddenly seemed like it could be the word. And then everyone, there was not that many people, but it felt as if everyone was like, earnesty, like there's a lot of chatter about how that was definitely not a word. They weren't being mean, but they were just questioning whether it was a word. And then I don't know anything else that happened in the meeting because I just was sitting there going like, I feel so silly for me, a person who prides herself on knowing words and stuff. I can't believe, and why did I feel the need to chime in? Everyone was doing fine. And it's like that thing where they say that the most intelligent people, like an indicator of how intelligent they are is like they never say dumb stuff. And I was thinking, well, I just removed myself from the running for that.
Yeah, that was the first dumb thing you've ever said, I think.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Wouldn't you agree, Daniel?
Oh, yeah. Well, on mic.
Oh, come on. My track record is pretty good of not being that dumb.
You're not that dumb.
Thank you.
I'm crazy.
I am crazy. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Usually I don't... I feel like if this show's about anything, it's about being human and embarrassing, and I reveal all sorts of embarrassing things all the time. And yet for that one, I suddenly felt very like, oh, I feel really, really stupid right now.
And I hate to brag then in light of that. That's what the goal of the show is. But in 5th grade, Dave Damashek did not miss a single word on the Friday spelling quizzes. The only one. I mean, it was a star. Like she would put who was it, Mrs. McGee or was it Mr. McBride? I don't remember the teacher, but I remember my perfect record.
Very Irish school,
gold
though.
stars, silver stars all the way across the way.
Wow.
Me and Kristen Larson were in a battle till about 2/3 of the way through the school year. Then she fell. She missed a single word.
Hell
so her
yeah,
record
she
was
did.
Now imperfect. Damashek.
What was the word she missed? What was the word?
That I don't remember. That I can't recall. It doesn't matter to me because she finished second, meaning she finished last, or whatever the saying goes. Damashek, undefeated record. As far as I know, no one's ever matched my remarkable record.
Congratulations, Dave.
Well, could I ask a quick question to Q, because he mentioned glasses a minute ago. It reminds me, and I'm curious how you feel about this, how everybody feels about this, because this is a bad one. I forget even where this one came from, this particular glass, but for a quarter century now, it's not a fealty test to Dave, but I have people in my company steal glasses for me, pint glasses that I like. And of course, they say, well, why don't you take it yourself? And I say, because that's not the way it works. You have to take it for me so that we will remember this special occasion. Every time I see this glass, and it actually does work, every time I take a glass down, I always think like, oh, yeah, you know who got me this? My ex-girlfriend or something like that. And so everybody does it dutifully. My mother, my own children have done it for me.
Wow.
No. And the only one who won't do it for me is my wife.
Wow.
She thinks it's wrong. Everybody else thinks it's wrong too, but they do it because I ask them to do it because I'm making memories.
Yeah.
Not her. I think she's in the wrong. How say you? I start with you, Q.
Tell her, ask her how she expects you to remember her.
Mm-hmm. That's a
without that pint glass.
There's no good answer to that one. I think I win. You're right.
Well, go ahead.
Would you steal any stuff for her?
I mean, I'm not a criminal. You know, I don't want to wind up in the joint doing a stretch for boosting glasses out of islands. You know, I don't know.
Islands, very good.
How are they doing it? Are they finishing it and then wiping it out and then putting it in a bag or something? Or is it the less you know, the better?
That's their business. That's their business. Yeah, I don't want to be implicated. I don't know. What do I know? I don't know what they're up to. I didn't know they were doing. No, yeah, I'll sometimes assist, put a little napkin in there so that there's no leaking or anything else. Mm-hmm. Women tend to do it, or they tend to be better candidates for the thievery because they have handbags, and I don't. So that's where it starts.
I feel like I side with Christopher Moltisanti on this one, which is she's not willing to do 18 years for you. You know?
Is she worth it at all?
She deserves what she gets.
Dave,
Amen,
in
Q.
general, is she a very rule-following person?
I mean, I can see you're probing as the defense attorney. For whatever reason, you've decided already to take her side. I don't know why.
I just want to understand.
Not material. It does she follow the rules? I guess to some degree. And then other rules she doesn't follow. It's basically what she wants to do and when she wants to do it, but not when it comes to getting Dave the glass that he wanted just to make memories. Another magic night now flushed down the toilet because we couldn't bring that glass home with you. And that's on you, lady.
I mean, I'm just wondering. Okay, I'm going to use a metaphor. It might be an analogy. It's a hypothetical.
A simile?
I don't even know what it is. I'm just going to...
Just as long as you deliver it with the greatest of earnesty, I think we will all be...
Get ready for some earnesty. Now, Daniel and I are married. I'm married to Q. And let's say he wanted to do some freaky sex act. Someone name a freaky sex act.
Take a shit on you or something.
Yes. Let's say he wanted to take a shit on me. And I found, but let's say his thing with everyone was taking a shit on them. And so he had all these memories of I'll never forget when I took a shit on our friend Izzy, or when I took a shit on your sister, or I took a shit on, this guy that I went to school with or whatever. And then he wanted to take a shit on me. I might feel well, it's not our special thing because you're shitting on everyone we know. And I get that it's important to you and you've made it a test of our relationship, but I don't just want to be one of the many people you shit on.
I feel like you're letting your ego get in the way of my happiness.
But Daniel,
you're putting your own pride above,
instead of your buttocks.
Yeah, above what makes me happy, sweetheart.
But
I just
Daniel,
want to shit on everybody.
Aren't I just another chest to you? Aren't I just another chest? You do this with everyone.
Think of it more like that's the only way to get into the inner circle.
But we're
That's right.
married.
Oh, you want to cut? Oh, yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
I was going to get you a present for your birthday, but everybody gets you a present. So I'm differentiating myself. You get nothing from me.
Right.
Wow. That has brought us closer. No, it hasn't.
At least
Has it,
half the
Allison?
world is in the hasn't been shit on by me club. And that's the world. That's the circle you want to be in.
Why are you so uptight? Take a poop, Allison.
Yeah, come on. Take
Honestly,
it down.
throughout the whole thing, I was thinking it would work better if Daniel was the one who wanted people to take shits on him. The idea that he's like shitting on
disgusting.
everyone. Anyway, I rest, as the defense attorney here, I rest my case, Dave.
Either way, I don't know that shitting on people is a good comparison to glass stealing.
Well, they both might be a little bit outside of someone's comfort zone. Look, I'm like a nerdy rule follower myself who's always, when I go through airport security and I don't get caught for nothing that I have on me, I'm always like, oh, phew. So I could understand being nervous to have someone shit on my chest or nervous to steal a cup.
Now, Dave, now that you've admitted this publicly, now that the Johnny Law is going to hear about this, are you worried that you're going to have, when you go to a bar and you order a Moscow Mule and they charge you $30 so that you don't steal the copper mug? Is this going to start happening now with your pint glasses?
Yeah, they're gonna. Well, I think. I'm going to get fingered by security or the bouncer or shame the devil, Johnny Law. Otherwise, they're going to be like, "There's the guy who likes to poop on everybody." Oh no, there's the guy who likes to have other people steal glasses for him all the time. Lock him up. Yeah, it's a real concern. I may have said too much already.
You may have to cut this out.
I was once in a very awkward scenario involving this exact type of thing of glass stealing at a bar. I was on tour, and I think it was like somewhere in Northern California, and a couple of my bandmates were at a bar, and they had like texted me and told me where they were, and I ended up meeting them. But they'd probably already been there, I don't know, at least a half hour before I got there, probably longer. And I show up, and it's not a very big bar. It's not that busy. And I go up at one point, and I order a drink. And this is, keep in mind, I just got there. I think it might have been the first drink I ordered. And the bartender knows that I was sitting with them, and he just immediately goes, I know that suddenly two of my, and he named like a specific type of beer, glasses are suddenly missing, and you guys are the only ones that were ordering those, so really need you to put those back. And because apparently, and it was true, my band members did take them, but like I was so annoyed at them because I had just gotten there, and then he's coming down on me for doing it. And first of all, how dumb were they that they're doing this? There was like two other people in the whole bar. Yeah, that was not a comfortable situation.
Was this one of those places that served beer, like each kind of beer was in a different kind of glass?
They at least had like a few of those.
Yeah.
And,
They deserved it then. I know where Q's head is, and we park our cars in the same garage on this one. Shame. That's what they deserved to happen.
The only kind. Okay, is it called Chimay? That like.
Oh yeah.
I've seen the Chimay glass. What other kinds of specialty glasses for different beers are there?
Well, they'll just like literally, it won't necessarily be that the glass is special, but they'll like just have like the logo of a certain beer printed on it.
Okay. What do you remember? What kind it was?
I don't. This was probably 10 years ago.
So what ended up
I
happening?
predict. I'm trying to. I'm assessing the people here on this conversation. A part of this conversation. I'm wondering who's done the most severe criming.
Ooh.
I mean, Allison was in a punk band, so that she should have been a ne'er-do-well. But now she just announced she's a rule follower. So.
Kind of, yeah.
Faxman's in a band. He had to get into some tough situations out on the
Trashing
road,
hotel
right?
rooms.
Yeah, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
everyone wants to
Tony,
think.
you're messed up, man. We know you're the most fucked up, dude.
Scoring smack in the alley. That's illegal, friend. Doing unspeakable things. I'm not going to make the poop joke again, but I don't know what you did in exchange for getting your fix. So you can get your shot. I don't know.
I wish I had something exciting I could throw out there, but the truth of the matter is I'm probably very much like Allison in this way, where like I feel like I'm a very boring person that's gotten to do a lot of exciting things.
Thank you.
Well, except you didn't do all the exciting things.
That's good.
So there was a short-lived show called The Extreme Gong Show, which they brought back the Gong Show.
I remember
and
that.
my band was on The Extreme Gong Show, and it was a
Whoa.
very, very long day, and there was like someone there who his act involved live lobsters. I just remember him sitting there with live lobsters in the backstage, and it like did not smell very good at all. And so the band decided, if we get gonged, let's just continue to play.
Hell yeah.
And that made me very, very, I went along with it because I want to follow rules, but I also want to be accepted and liked. But it made me very uncomfortable. And I was just like, this is a very bad idea, because there's like someone with a walkie-talkie and a clipboard. Let's just do what they tell us to do.
Got to follow the rules of the Gong Show.
But thankfully, the problem resolved itself, because when we got gonged, our power was killed. So I just remember like doing one more strum and no noise came out, and then we just shuffled off.
Oh, wow.
And then this Cajun Zydeco act won. And I remember my parents like calling me or something and saying, I don't know how they had watched, maybe it was live. The Extreme Gong Show live, that's possible. And they're like, Zatarans has a commercial on the show, so we think it was fixed. Which I always thought was insane. Except in retrospect, maybe they did know ahead of time who was going to win, because if the show was, yes, I think it was live. If the show was live, that would be difficult to have it be that up in the air, right? I don't know. I don't do game shows.
I just wish you would have done the punk thing. I mean, Ozzy Osbourne, the metal guy, bit the head off of a dove or whatever it was. You should have grabbed one of those lobsters and done like Daryl Hannah and Splash and just rock with your teeth, just bitten in half. They would have had Chuck Barris would have had no choice but to give you the victory.
Can they ungong you? Because that would have been an ungongable.
Yeah, that would have been an ungong for sure.
I think they would have regonged me. Oh, Tony, will you look up Extreme Gong Show? Because I feel like the person who hosted it, like it was someone that I know from something else. Yeah, I missed my window because I was very rule followy when I was in the band. And then I moved to New York. And that's when I really, turned into Daryl Hannah and bit the head off lobsters and I made up for lost time in terms of all the dumb things that young people do that I was doing a little bit too old.
Smoked a menthol cigarette.
Yeah, well, I don't get the reference.
The worst thing. Oh, I'm just wondering what Allison Rosen considers to be the worst thing she's ever done.
Oh, I just mean drugs, but I didn't do smack. I'm waiting till I turn 80.
Oh, okay.
I just mean I experimented with
That's our
drugs
pact.
and, had slept around a bit. And what else did I do? That's about it. Did you find anything, Tony?
Yeah, it doesn't specifically say that it was live, but it sounds like it was because the celebrity judges were replaced by call-in votes.
Yes, that is ringing a bell. And this was back before Twitter and before there was nowhere I could post like, hey, everyone call in. I think I might have sent an email or something. Does it say who the host was?
Sorry. Was it actually still? It wasn't still, because it mentions Chuck Barris at one point, but he wasn't still hosting at that point. Oh, George Gray.
That sounds right. I don't know who that is, but that sounds right.
I don't either.
And then I feel like there was a woman. His Vanna.
I see a mention of a woman.
While you look for that, allow me to tell you guys about the Ring alarm system. Protect your home with Ring Alarm. For a special offer, go to ring.com/bestfriend. It's the perfect way to start your Ring experience. I love this so much. When we moved into this house, Daniel wanted to get an alarm system. And so I shopped around a bit, and there were the drawbacks to some of the ones that we were looking at. I didn't want to have to deal with a company coming over and setting it up and everything. And then I was talking to the guy who straightens my hair, who is very thorough with research. And I asked him, do you have an alarm system, blah, blah, blah. And he said that he had just gotten the Ring alarm system. And I was familiar with Ring because we have a Ring doorbell like everyone and rely on it and can't imagine life without it. I didn't realize they had an alarm system, but he's like, yeah, I just bought it and I set it up myself. And that very much appealed to me. And then we got it and we love it. Daniel, how easy was it to set up?
It's super easy to set up. And can I tell you one of the benefits I just realized we get from it?
Yes.
So we have like a motion detector in the front room, and our oldest son will sometimes get up in the middle of the night and either come bunk with us or just hang out in the living room and watch his videos. And I can see when he got up because I get a tag on the motion sensor, so I know how much sleep he got.
That is brilliant.
Yep.
Whoa.
Because we've been like wondering, we often wonder what time he came in. This whole time, we actually had that info right there. It's just great. It's great for peace of mind. When we went on vacation a long time ago, but it was especially wonderful then because we just felt very secure. You get a little notification. You set up sensors around the house, like on your windows, doors, etc. It takes you can do it yourself. It's so easy to set up. Works seamlessly with your other Ring products. Protect your home anytime from anywhere with Ring Alarm. Go to ring.com/bestfriend for a special offer on a Ring Alarm security kit today. You can build the system that's right for your home and have it up and running in minutes. That's ring.com/bestfriend. That's ring.com/bestfriend. Okay, I also want to talk to you guys about Toodaloo, which is trail mix, and it is my favorite thing to say. Daniel, how much fun have we been having saying Toodaloo, but also snacking on Toodaloo?
A lot of fun. We live very boring lives.
Excuse me.
It's fun for anyone.
You might be exploring the Arctic. Mm-hmm. You could be on a ship. Yes. You could be under the sea. Wherever you could be doing something extreme. And saying Toodaloo is still going to be exciting.
Try to think of a scenario where saying Toodaloo doesn't make it better.
I can't think of one. You can say goodbye to trail mix that's bland, boring, and extremely unhealthy using ingredients. Thank you. Literally say goodbye using ingredients grown with chemicals that can harm both you and the planet. Not only that, but most trail mix is filled with processed sugar and dirty nuts that are dry roasted in toxic refined oils like canola, palm, or soybean, but not Toodaloo. Toodaloo is the world's first all-natural, totally delicious, climate-friendly trail mix packed with plant protein, superfoods, and adaptogenic herbs like lion's mane, ashwagandha, and reishi to help balance and support your body and mind. I think that my favorite is the maple flavor, and that might also be Owen's favorite. We also had a chocolate flavored one. They're so good. And they're protein packed. Their barbecue flavor smoke show, also delicious, has 42 grams of plant protein per bag. It's also low in carbs and supports energy flow to fuel your day. It's so good. We got a special offer for our listeners. Get $5 off your first order of Toodaloo. Just visit Toodaloo.com/bestfriend. That's Toodaloo.com/bestfriend. And Toodaloo is so confident that you'll love it that each purchase is backed by 100% best taste guarantee. This will definitely become your favorite go-to snack. Seriously, the taste is incredible. Visit Toodaloo.com/bestfriend to try it today. Okay.
Snack Chat.
So listen.
Can I say you could maybe tag that every time with like Toodaloo trail mix. The trail mix so good, you'll say Toodaloo la la.
Oh.
Right?
I like that.
All right, that'll make it even more fun.
So let's practice that. I'll say Toodaloo, and then you tag it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Toodaloo.
The trail mix so good, you'll be saying Toodaloo la la. Better? A little better?
I like that.
Nice.
I like that.
So, Betsy, I have a question for you because Daniel uncovered a project that you worked on maybe like a year ago, I'm going to say. Daniel, is it called Mother? No, it was with Rachel Bloom.
Mary?
Mother Mary.
Oh, yes.
Yes, what was this?
So it was, my friends, Dan Greger and Casey Faye came up with this idea a couple of years ago, and we did a web series where I play this character, Mary, who gets pregnant with the second coming of Jesus Christ, like wakes up one day 8 months pregnant. And they told me when they were like coming up with the idea, we were thinking like who would be the worst person for this to happen to, and it's you want to do it. I was like, yes, man, yes. So we made the web series. Hell yeah. And then last year Pop we made a pilot for Pop TV for it, and it was a blast. But then truly the day we like delivered it, final, like everything in, there was an article that came out saying that Pop is not making any original shows anymore. And we were all just kind of like, they must have known, but it was, yeah, so, yeah. But it was a
pilot
blast.
exist anywhere where anyone can see it?
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to y'all if you want to watch it. It's very fun. It was a dream come true. It was so fun.
So
I only saw the trailer for the web series, and I was dying. It was so funny.
What was it called again?
Thank you, Mother Mary.
Okay.
I think because when we were doing the pilot, we had to take the web series down. I think that was something like that. So I wonder if we could put it back up. But I'll send you all the pilot so you can watch it if you want.
So why would you be the worst person to be pregnant with the second coming of Jesus?
I mean, I'm so unfit to be a parent in every way imaginable. I don't want that responsibility. I don't need that. Yeah, pretty much. Like they're just kind of. I'm still just kind of a child. I just hang out and play around and stuff. And I can't take care of another life.
But you have a dog, right?
My roommate does.
Okay.
Yes,
Wilma.
I like Betsy's calculation that everybody else who does have children decided at some point, you know what? I am mature enough to raise someone else. That's the standard you have to set for yourself, of course, before you get ahead. If only everybody who had children went through the same thought process that Betsy did, perhaps
right?
the world
I know.
would be a little bit
Betsy's
better.
thought process might prove that she actually is responsible enough because that's a responsible thought process.
Whoa! Oh no! I gotta have a kid now. Truly, my nightmare would be waking up pregnant. I don't know what that would really suck.
So
would it be better? Would you feel better about having a baby if it turned out it was baby Jesus, or would that make it worse? Would that be more pressure on
I mean, that's a lot of pressure, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then
You're famous. Super famous.
Eternal life, probably. He probably gives it to you, right? Like, hey, I'm your mother. You know, if you can extend, even like give you extra 50, 100 years, would be,
50, 100
think about
years?
that.
Plus, it's like admission into the VIP room in heaven.
That is true.
You know,
you like booze? Guess what? He can turn water into wine. These kind of things. He could be in a transactional sort of a way. He could be the gift that keeps on giving.
Right.
You definitely get a good reservation somewhere.
you hear about those kids that are taught to make mixed drinks for their parents, back in the 50s.
Right.
You could, just throw parties and have the kid bring out the wine.
Just have them do everything.
I'd be like, hey, look, my wife stole me this glass. And you'd be like, yeah, my son gave me the Holy Grail. What do you think's better? One up me.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
So
my son gave me the Holy Grail in one cup that will melt you down, but leave your swastika pin.
I like that you guys are comparing which situation would be better or worse, because that leads right into what might be a new segment. It could become a regular segment. I don't know. This was suggested by a longtime listener, Demian, who was also our, exterminator listener, who I run my bug woes by. And I've met him in real life, and he's delightful. And he suggested a which is worse segment where listeners write in like hypothetical scenarios. And Tony, if this is a go, I am going to be asking for the fax man to lay down a track for this. But anyway, Demian suggested the first one. Okay. Would you rather be blamed for something you did not do?
Oh, God.
Or see someone else get credit for something good you did?
Wait, what is it? Would you rather...
blamed for something you didn't do, or watch someone else get credit for something good that you did?
I think I'd rather watch somebody else get credit. Like, getting blamed for something I didn't do is so scary. Like murder? That's so scary.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's depends on the scenario, obviously, but I would agree. I'd rather miss out on some credit than be blamed for something, I think.
I think so too. Although I do think that would feel very unjust, watching someone else get credit for something that you did. But yes, for me personally, it would also feel worse to be blamed for something I did. And also, I really hate being accused of lying when I'm telling the truth. And that is that situation to a T.
Yes. Even you just saying that sentence got me like fired up. Of being like, no, it's awful.
Yeah. Are we all in agreement here? Would anyone rather be blamed for something they didn't do?
No, and I think that if someone else is getting credit, you get the side benefit of having your spite tank full.
You're right.
Which is its own kind of gift.
Yes.
You do. I see. Q is again hit on an interesting angle here. You are not only at the spite do you have, but you also have leverage over that person. Like, I will tell everybody whose idea this really was. And if you have anything on record, on paper or otherwise, now you got something to bargain with. As a vain person, I detest anyone getting credit for something that I did, especially when there's so few things that I actually did. Credit's doing a lot of work here, because what you're saying is by credit, you did something good, and blame indicates something bad. Now, if it's felony level bad that I did, the problem for me is I'm a world-class liar. I can lie and no one would ever know I'm lying. But what's weird is, and it's true, when I tell the truth, people don't believe me. So if I was like, I did not do that, people would be like, he did it. You can tell by the way he's saying it. That's my cross to bear in life. Back to your son, Jesus.
That sucks, Dave.
Yeah, I know.
I'm that way with compliments. Like, if I give someone a compliment and I'm sincere, they never believe me.
Oh, they don't trust your earnesty?
We got to hang out, me and you. Yeah. We have a lot of the same problems and views of the
we real
world.
Commiserate.
You're out, Dax, man. Q's in.
All right.
It's all right. You can just go hang out with Mary Lynn, your other friend.
He's fine. He's fine.
I mean, so many friends. So I have so many options. Doesn't have to be her. There's countless people.
No, you're just on the back burner, just for a little bit, Dax. We'll get back. We'll get back to a good place. All
right, I've got another one, and this one was sent in by Stephen Naylor, this one I feel is, for me, it's easy. Which is worse, realizing it's Thursday when you thought it was Friday, or realizing it's Sunday when you thought it was Saturday?
Ooh, that one.
Yeah. Being robbed of a weekend day? No, thank you.
Yeah.
That sucks.
You know, the only time there have been brief times in my life where I didn't enjoy the weekend as much as I enjoyed the week, and on Sunday I was looking forward to going back to work Monday, and it was always and only when I had a crush on someone I worked with.
Oh.
Which nowadays that is very frowned down on, and it was never like encouraged or anything, but I feel like it was more there was a period of time where it was more allowed than now, where I don't know. I haven't been in an office in a long time, so I don't know how it goes.
Like, you mean like where you feel you could talk about it to other people, or
well, I've had plenty of crushes on people I work with. I have very poor boundaries. Back in the day when I worked in magazines and things like that. And when I was at Time Out in New York, my boyfriend was also at Time Out in New York, and we kept it a secret. We met there. We kept it a secret for a while, but then it was like everyone seems to know, and so then it was just public. But he wasn't. Okay. He and I were peers, though. I think if he had been my boss or something like that, it would have been problematic.
Yeah.
But I just feel like everyone is more cautious now, right? More careful now.
Don't let the man do that to you. The man wants to take away all our fun. The man says no mixing at the office. You know, real life is not like a movie where you go into the produce section of the grocery store and are like checking out cantaloupe and like, I don't know how to choose these things. Hi, I'm Dave. Like that just, no one meets people that way. You have to be wired as kind of like a cheese ball to pick up women in bars. You have to have a certain, it's not just, lack of self-awareness. You have to just be a kind of a weirdo creep on some level to be willing, because all the great cocksmen, it's not some magic act they have. They will tell you across the board, like, what's your secret? Why are you with so many women all the time? They're like, it's a numbers game. You take 19 shots, you get rejected, the 20th one comes through. The mystique around being a cocksman has been blown out of the water. Now at the office, it's extra fun though, because if it's a secret, now talk about mystique and relationship.
Yeah,
no one knows, and the exhilarating prospect of sneaking away and all that. No one knows what's going on. That adds to the relationship, and the man wants to tamp that down. I say fat.
Your use of the term cocksman, is that CK or is that X?
Well, I think these days it is CK, and it's not a cute thing. I think it's on the nose. I think if you were to look up on Merriam-Webster,
like this is just a penis man.
It just means a man who
penis man.
Who,
they used to call it
man.
that.
Right, whose wiener is well traveled.
The thing about dating at the office is we spend so much time at the office that it's ridiculous to think that that's not a place where people.
That's what I'm saying. You don't do it at the grocery store. Where else are you? Where else is a normal person going to meet anybody except where they spend 50 hours a week? Of course.
Right.
Daniel, now that you're working from home, you're also dating at the office.
I know you would think that I'd wake up every day excited to see the person that I work with, but it's not like that, unfortunately.
Daniel and I got into a little tiff last night. Now, it is always dangerous. Everything's fine. It's always dangerous when I decide to talk about us getting into a fight, because some people are like, oh no, this makes me uncomfortable. You guys are on thin ice or whatever. And it felt like a big event last night because my feelings got hurt. But it's fine. So here's what happened. And I just think I suspect this situation is relatable if you also have flies in your house and have recently purchased a fly swatter. So
Totally just did.
Did you? Okay, actually, my mother-in-law bought a 3-pack of fly swatters, kept one for herself, gave me 2. I've never owned a fly swatter. My parents have so many fly swatters, and they keep them.
I have had it with these bugs.
Yes, they keep them in the same cabinet that their trash can is in, and you open up the door to the trash and you get hit in the face with like 6 fly swatters. It's terrible. It is. I lived in New York and then I moved back and I lived with them until I moved to LA. And it was and I know it's problematic to be 30 or 30 something living with your parents and griping at them about the way they keep their house. But I did have a real problem with, like, when I lean down to put something in the trash or get the trash can out, I get hit in the face with fly swatters and it's gross. So anyway, I didn't have a fly swatter, but we did have some flies. So now there's this one motherfucker who's like been slowly flying around the house. And I was like, I have the weapon. I'm going to get this guy. So I was like Elmer Fudd with this thing. Like, I don't even know if I have what it takes to have a weapon, because I was very obsessed with, like, I'm going to, just waiting for him to, anyway. So Daniel walks in and I decide to multitask. I decide to both try to kill the fly and also have a discussion about how I'm concerned about the recall efforts in California. I'm afraid we're going to end up with Larry Elder. So we talk about this a little bit. And Daniel and I are talking. I say that when I first heard about the recall, I wasn't really sure how I was supposed to vote, because I think Newsom is that. I don't really know how I feel about Newsom. I was like pro Newsom, but now I'm a little bit like, I don't know. But it was explained to me that, like, you have to vote no unless you want Larry Elder. Like, there's a time and a place to vote Newsom out if that's how we want to go. This is not the time. This is like a way to get someone awful in, But I feel like a lot of people don't understand this. And so a lot of people are just like, yeah, burn it all down, vote him out. And it could be disastrous. So Daniel's weighing in. And then I see the fly again. And so then I'm like, oh, there he is, that motherfucker. And then I'm like gonna, trying to swat him. And then I feel that Daniel has, to me, and he claims this didn't happen, but I feel that he has shut down. And I feel like he's mad at me or judging me. And I'm like, is he upset about what I said about Newsom? What's going on? And I say, are you mad at me? Or are you annoyed or something? What's going on? And he's like, well, and I'm going to mischaracterize what he said, I'm sure. But
why? I mean, he's sitting right there. Why don't you just act it out for us? Why don't you just do the dialogue?
Yeah,
okay.
When you need action lines, throw them out. But I think you two can carry the day here.
I am curious what her characterization is, though.
All right.
Oh, okay. I see.
So I say, are you annoyed at me? And he says, let me see if I can remember. Well, it's just, I'm trying to make a point, and you're like screaming, and you just keep screaming. So I just stopped. Is that accurate?
I'm not sure that's accurate. Maybe we need to get one of those Ring security cams.
Yeah, Daniel, you sound a lot like me when I asked her why she unplugs the equipment.
Oh yeah, when Tony was filled with rage
right.
and demanded to know why I unplugged the equipment, and I felt frightened. Not really.
Yeah.
How do you think you said it?
Oh, I don't know. Look, if you ask me at any given point of any given day if I'm annoyed with you, the answer is going to be probably.
What?
But
how is this making it better?
You asked, and I answered. Don't ask next time.
What?
No, look, here's the deal. There was some conversation happening, and I was trying to say something, and every time I tried to finish a thought, you screamed about the fly and interrupted me. And so at a certain point, I stopped trying, and I went back to making my marinara. And then you asked me if I was upset, and I really wasn't. But it wasn't that big a deal. But you asked, and it was like, well, yeah, I was, trying to finish a thought.
I didn't appreciate.
And then you took that as me saying that
you hate me.
Judging you as being a shrieking spaz.
Yes, that's how I felt. I said to you, my feelings are really hurt because somehow your characterization of me, even though in the reenactment that I did of myself, it was yelling at the fly, I don't think that I actually got all loud about it.
And
but
the thing is, honey, I am one of the few people who loves your shrieking spasdom. I love that. I just don't love being interrupted. But then, of course,
here is the crux. No, go ahead.
Well, but I don't think anybody likes being interrupted. It's not a big deal. So be a total spaz all you want. I love that. I'm the one who loves it.
Didn't feel like you loved it last night. It felt like
I'm the guy who loves it.
How do you feel when you get interrupted?
I usually don't really care. Because I'm usually like, oh, if they have to say something more, go for it. Like you probably have a better idea. So I'll just chill out. But
see, Daniel.
Yeah.
Listen, we could all afford to be a little bit more like Betsy.
That's
right. But
I
will also say I'm never on the verge of saying anything too powerful. So I'm always just kind of like, no, you go ahead. That's what I was thinking, man. So I'm never like, I feel I would get mad if I was like, I was going to say something so good.
I think that's how Daniel felt. I was in the midst of having, it was Allison v. Fly from the get-go. I just was trying to squeeze in a conversation.
I walked onto the battlefield. It's my own fault.
That's right.
The skirmish was happening.
Q is right here once again.
Oh, my God.
Thank you, sir.
Listen,
Thank you, sir. We need to have Dave
Why
on
don't you
all the
remove
time.
your lips from his butt?
Narcissism is one kind of a plague, and people often conflate narcissism with vanity. I am not a narcissist. Narcissists expect that everybody hangs on their every word. My vanity is what requires your attention. And when you go away from what I'm saying to do something else, now you've hurt me. Now you've exposed my fear, which is what I have to say is not that important. I wish I could be more like Betsy and accept that everything that comes out of my mouth isn't a pearl of wisdom or otherwise, but that's not the way my brain works, or apparently Q's. Q and I may run off together by the end of this podcast.
Oh,
I love it.
Just become a two-man show.
You can both.
But Q, will you steal a glass for me?
Oh, of course.
We're in.
Yeah.
Final test.
Kidding.
You guys will you'll both hang on each other's words because you both get it.
Or we would interrupt each other. I'm not sure. It could go either way.
Q, I was your wife, who doesn't care a lick about sports to a weird degree. She's like my wife, who knows. I think that you have to set your brain to some. There must be some setting that prevents the absorption of information, whether you care about it or not. Yeah, I know about plenty of things that I don't care about, but they have seeped into my head nevertheless.
Yeah, you claimed this, and then you could only name 2 Kardashians.
It's funny. It's funny. Since we last spoke, I became aware that the one who I thought was Khloe is not Khloe. Khloe is apparently dating the Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker, which I didn't know about.
No,
and I
think Courtney.
Khloe,
Courtney is dating him.
Courtney is.
Yeah.
See, well, I did it again. Khloe's the one who likes hanging around hotel rooms looking to score NBA fellas.
Sure.
Courtney is the one who's with Travis Barker.
Yes.
Dave,
See, these are the things I didn't really know.
Dave, allow Allison now to tell you what she thought fly fishing was until just a few weeks ago.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, no.
I thought you catch the fish when they jump out of the water. And I didn't.
She thought
Like
you
a
snag
bear.
the fish out of the air with your
I thought maybe
Like she's
you're
a bear
what?
catching
With your
salmon
hands,
jumping
or-
upstream, right?
No,
Just catching them
I
out of the
knew
air.
that you do this with the line. So
imagine
I thought,
that sport.
I-
You throw the hook through the air and catch a flying fish.
Oh, that's cool.
The thing that was interesting about it was I'm like, I've literally never seen someone catching the fish when it's out of the air. When does it happen? Because I've seen footage of fly fishing, but that's what I thought it was.
But that would put everything, all the work on the fish. Fish are dumb, but they're not masochistic, are they? Like, well, I guess salmon are when they go back up and the bear gets them. But yes, so wait, the fish is jumping from its safe place, which is the body of water, and hooking itself onto the hook. The hook isn't doing anything; it's just sitting there waiting to be hung on like a shirt.
I think you throw the hook into the fish when it emerges from the water.
Whip it. with the hook.
Lightning fast
timing.
reflexes.
Yeah,
it.
it sounds very hard.
Yeah.
I position that if this was the sport, it would be the #1 sport in the world.
That's,
Can you even imagine how great that would be?
That fish is the greatest jumper out of water the rivers have ever seen. But I was informed, Q, your wife was generous enough spiritually to let me know, even though she didn't care, to drop me a line after the fact to say, it turns out that Daniel is an Eagles fan, not a Ravens fan. And
No,
so
I'm not a Ravens
I
fan.
wanted to complete that circle of the people who were hanging on the edge of their seat to find out which team Q liked on the last episode I did with Allison. So now here's the big payoff. It's the Philadelphia Eagles, everybody.
It is Philadelphia, yes. My father and my father's family is all from Philly, and I grew up in Tucson, and we just didn't have anything down there, so I just was a Philadelphia fan.
Now, to me, the Eagles is just the team that has the guy who's mean to dogs on it. Is he still on the team?
no,
He was for a little
he's
while.
retired, and
Well,
also he
good-
wasn't
good
even on the
riddance.
Eagles when that happened.
He wasn't?
I mean, he was on them later, but when the whole dog stuff happened, he was not. Yeah.
No.
This reminds me of the time that Betsy was talking about that she couldn't have any babies because she didn't know if she was responsible enough. Same thing applies here. Yeah, you should hold it against the Eagles that they had a guy who wasn't nice to dogs because everybody else in pro sports is clean as a whistle.
I'm just saying that's just it permeate the setting. My anti-sports force field setting that I have, it pierced that because that was such a big story. Listen, you guys. It's finally summer, and we're actually going to have a real summer. We've been having a real summer this year. So naturally, you want to look good after a year and change. And that's where Faraday comes in. They make the perfect clothes for summer. Faraday is a family-run brand making high-quality, timeless clothing with modern design and functionality. It's such high quality, and it's the perfect, they make the perfect summer outfits. When you're searching for that ideal summer outfit, that set, that shirt, that dress that feels like you've had them for years, maybe it's in a gorgeous print and it fits so perfectly that feels almost too good to be vintage, but still looks like it might be. Well, that's Faraday. I have this white shirt from them that I love, and it looks like it's like one of those pieces where it looks like you've owned it for years. And because it's like so perfectly comfortable, but it also somehow looks new at the same time. They're so confident in the quality of their stuff. They have a lifetime guarantee of quality. They'll replace or fix your clothes forever, no matter what. And to top it all off, Faraday is giving my listeners 20% off. 20% off. So stock up on all your clothes for summer now. Head to FaradayBrand.com and use code BESTFRIEND at checkout to snag 20% off all your summer gear. That's code BESTFRIEND at Faraday, FAHERTY brand.com for 20% off. I also want to tell you guys about Manly Brands. They make wedding bands for dudes that you will love. After countless hours spent jumping through jewelry store hoops in search of the engagement ring of your dreams, the last thing your man wants to do is run the same gauntlet again for his wedding band. Now, thanks to Manly Bands, he doesn't have to, which is truly a godsend for brides and grooms alike. Manly Bands has awesome wedding bands in just about every type of earthly material imaginable, and even from space. It is crazy. They have tungsten. They have. My mind was being blown looking at the website, looking at all the different materials. They have like meteorite. Oh, here we go. Gold, wood, antler, steel, dinosaur bone, and even meteorites. To get started, have your guy order the Manly Ring Sizer from Manly Bands to ensure that his ring will fit perfectly during work and play. Once he knows his size, it's time for the fun part. Manly Bands has an insane selection of materials to choose from. You can also choose from curated collections like the Jack Daniel's Whiskey Barrel collection. It's wood from whiskey barrels. And if he's feeling even more creative, he can customize his band from scratch, choosing the style, material, inlay, sleeve, and finish. And then once he's finished, Manly Bands offers free shipping worldwide, a 30-day exchange policy, and free warranty. To order his Manly Band and get 21% off, you guys, that's 1% more than 20, plus a free silicone ring, go to manlybands.com/bestfriend. That's manlybands.com/bestfriend for 21% off. Manly Bands, the best damn rings, period. Tony, I have a probing question for you. Wearing a wedding band and drumming at the same time, did that like cut into your finger at all?
Well, the timing didn't overlap so much in that, so I didn't have a ton of experience. But I think the few times that I was doing that, I think I would usually take it off because it would kind of feel like it would kind of pinch my finger between the stick and the ring. Yeah,
got
Didn't
it.
like it. Yeah.
Okay, so we need to talk about grapes for a moment. Dave, when you were last on, you accused me you accused my taste buds of not working properly when I said that I had tasted a cotton candy grape and I didn't get it. And for you, this was a test.
Well, if you don't, only that it tastes exactly like cotton candy. So the conclusion is you don't like cotton candy.
No, I like cotton candy. My argument, all right, there's an element of this I want to leave out.
Okay.
Because we'll bring it in, but it undermines my point, and it does make me seem suspect. But you know what? I can't keep secrets from you. Okay. I wish I could roll the tape. I'll just have to replay it. I said I tasted a cotton candy grape, and to me, it just tasted like a grape. Betsy, have you tried these grapes?
No. You all sound crazy.
Have you heard of them? Okay, I'm
also not a big fruit head.
Oh my God.
I don't go out of I'm truly not in. Give me a squishy pear sometimes and maybe an orange. But I'm not a big fruit head.
Wow, you and Dave have some talking to do.
I gotta run. I gotta go.
All right, there are these grapes, cotton candy grapes, that people go nuts over, claiming they taste just like cotton candy, which is very intriguing to me. I tasted one. It just tasted like a grape. I brought this up on the show.
When was this time that you think you tasted a cotton candy grape?
At Gelson's.
When?
Well, I don't...
Exact date and time.
All right. I believe it was 2015. I don't know.
It was with me?
It was with you.
Yeah, okay. I thought you didn't remember that.
I do remember. See, this is what I'm saying. Whose side are you on? Daniel's memory of it was we did taste cotton candy grapes, and I agreed it tasted like cotton candy. And my memory is that it just tastes like a grape.
Because it did. And I project what seems true to me onto you because you're my wife.
Oh, so you're admitting that you don't remember that I said it just tastes like a grape.
I declared that it did, and therefore you believe that it did.
No, that's not...
In my memory.
Okay, so then I brought it up on a show, and Jackie and Helen were like, "What are sort of like Betsy? What are cotton candy grapes?" So apparently, cotton candy grapes have not penetrated the culture as much as I thought. I just know people who are rabid for them and who tweet about it and talk about it on podcasts and get very excited when they're in season. What? And I just don't get it.
It's like the Ted Lasso loving crowd. It's like, all right, it's great. It's really great. Settle down a little bit. Just settle down a little bit about it.
So, you know? Dave, I don't want you to feel deserted here, but when you came on the show, I agreed with you that the Ted Lasso hoopla was a little much.
Oh, did we talk about that?
We
yes,
did,
I'm sorry.
yes.
I hate that kind of cynicism. You know, it's nice. People found the show they care about. Who am I to impugn it? I just think people are a little intense about it.
It's an earnesty show.
Okay. That's true.
So we hadn't watched season 2 yet, and then we started it, and I wasn't even that excited about starting it because to me it's a fine show. I didn't love it, but Daniel's like, I bet when we turn it on you'll get into it so fast again because you know these characters. And we started watching it, and I am fully into it now. I think I love the show. I look forward to it every week. So I changed my mind, Dave. Now I agree with the crowd.
The whole the episode that involved quoting rom-coms the whole way through was great. Was really well done. The top to bottom. Played the Rolling Stones song that got some shine over the last couple of years from whatever commercial was a part of. But that's a great number as well. That was featured prominently in the episode. So yes, that was a splendid episode. And you know what? I like cotton candy grapes. Find them a little gimmicky. For this analyst's fruit have an opinion. I like them. They're not the end of the world for me.
Do you want to try to sway Betsy to appreciate fruit more?
Well, I mean, I don't know if she's on the hunt for a coxman, as we discussed. Like, she should just go hang out in the fruit section there. That's apparently, according to movies and TV shows, where you can find yourself a fella. You know, they're always just hanging around. They're like, look at this apple. Like, hey, what's going on with the Envy apples this season? Hi, I'm Dave. You know?
I don't know. I'm just I'm not into fruit that much. It's all fine. I'd way rather have potato chips any day.
You know what? You mentioned cheese way back at the top of the show. I have rediscovered an affection for cheese. I've been eating a lot of cheese over the last 18 or so months.
Yes.
Salami has made its way back into my life after decades and decades away. And potato chips, big. big for me.
Huge chip.
Have you
chip
tried?
head.
Have you tried the kettle chips?
Love
I
'em.
like kettle chips with salt and vinegar for several years. Was the best kettle chip. All due respect to the New York cheddar and herb was very good too. And the honey mustard is strong, but they all are in the rear view mirror thanks to the dill pickle flavored ones.
Oh
we
my
talked
God.
about those too. We're just rehashing everything we already talked about. I can't help it. I'm sorry. I only think about so many things in my world. But
Same.
Betsy, the dill chip is just I don't. It's beyond my ability. What it tastes like is the whole deli, as I told Allison already. And the
Right.
Dax, man. You know,
Dave,
it doesn't
Trader-
just taste like a pickle.
Trader Joe's has is it pickle in a chip,
Yeah.
and it is one of the best of those that I've ever had.
Yeah, I keep hearing everybody rave about it, and particularly the Trader Joe's one. I haven't had
It's
any
very
of them
good.
yet, though.
I was.
Trader Joe's snacks rule.
Have
Like
we?
their produce is pretty rough. Like I feel I've gotten probably fruit and veggies from there and like driven home and it went bad in the car ride where it's just like, oh god damn it. But their snacks rule.
I'm a snob with Trader Joe's to at least to the extent that people are like, $2 Chuck, or what's it called? $3 Chuck, whatever it's called. Like,
it's two.
that's wine. That's good. That's good wine. I'm like, it doesn't meet my minimum standard. I've officially now crossed the line into snooty wine having opinions, and $2 Chuck don't cut it for Damashek any longer.
I mean it can destroy you.
Yeah,
like
maybe.
it's really great finding it's more expensive stuff, but where you're like, oh, I don't feel like I'm gonna die the next day. That's kind of
Yeah, right.
nice. Like-
You know what? Why isn't there yet? And maybe someone will listen to this and it'll be resolved in a couple of weeks from now. But where's the cotton candy wine?
Isn't that just Boone's?
I bet you there's a rosé or something that's.
Yeah. I think I've shared this on this podcast, but our son Elliot, we went to Trader Joe's. It blew his mind. We got home and he said, "Mommy, I want more of the snacks from Pirate Jones." And I feel that Pirate Jones really encapsulates the vibe of Trader Joe's.
Big time.
It's
It might
more
be a
fun
better name.
Yeah.
I think it's a way more fun name.
And then the
Kids
other
never want to go to the grocery store. They would want to be going to Pirate Jones.
That's right.
Right?
And the other story of my children, which normally I save for childish, but we were at my parents' house, and my 4-year-old was laying. It was late, laying on the couch with a blanket over him, and the 2-year-old came up and he kept going night night, and then he would put his head down on Elliot's feet, and Elliot did not. He kept he was getting so pissed, he kept kicking, and I was like, "Honey, don't kick your brother," and he'd be like, "Night night," and he's 2.5, and he was just. Daniel, do you think he was doing it to annoy Elliot?
Oh yeah, it's so funny to him when the way Elliot reacts makes it so much more fun.
And I just kept saying, "Honey, don't kick your Elliot, don't kick your brother. I know you're annoyed, but don't kick your brother." And I felt as the older sister who felt that it was always unjust when my little sister, cutest little kid in the world, would provoke me, I would react, and then my parents would tell me not to do something. That felt so unfair to me, and I was doing it. I just was afraid that Elliot was really going to kick Owen in the face, but it was the whole thing repeating. It wasn't fair that I was coming down on Elliot. At the same time, I was trying to protect Owen's face.
I found myself when they were doing that earlier, I was letting them do it and laughing. I don't know if that's good parenting, but it's like I didn't have siblings, so for me, watching Owen annoy Elliot and Elliot get really pissed off and then make it more fun for Owen was just delighting me. And then I felt like a bad parent, but I don't know.
It's pretty clear that that both parents like Elliot more than they like Owen. And that's my big takeaway. That'll be Owen's thing to have to deal with growing up. So
Owen's gonna have to earn it. Build character.
I know you can't know someone's personality when they're 2.5, but I do think Owen is going to be a party guy. Because he likes to go into a bedroom, turn the lights out, and he has a turtle that lights up. and he always wants to just do that. But he also is
Classic
like
party move.
he's like a rave guy. But he's also he likes things to be very neat and orderly. So I don't know how these two sides
Total
of him are
party.
going to come together. You know what I do know, though, is that it is time to say hello and welcome to my new patrons.
Allison wants to say thank you to a couple of special people out there who signed up to be new patrons. Patreon.com/Allison Rosen.
Hello, welcome, and thank you to Abby and to Elizabeth Yandel. I hope you guys enjoy all the Patreon-ness. We said that the name for the patrons was going to be Friends with Benefits, which is very clever. I just haven't used it that much. But I hope you guys enjoy being Friends with Benefits. And I forgot to mention earlier that if you sign up for an annual subscription, you get 2 months free. So 12 months for the price of 10. So patreon.com/Allison Rosen.
Patreon.
Should we just do a couple quick Just Me or Everyone's? I think so.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
All right. It's just taking a moment. Okay, here we go. Wendy Wright says, almost always eat my meals in the same order. Veggie first, next meat, carb last, which is also the order I like them from least to most. Okay, so she saves the best for last.
I usually will save the best for last also. I might do bits of it here and there, but like I'll definitely like make sure that that's still left when everything else might be gone.
Yeah. I remember eating Smarties in like 3rd grade and eating the grape first because they're disgusting to me. Mm-hmm. And then thinking, or I could just not eat them at all and just go straight for the ones I like and just put the ones I don't like aside.
Right.
But I didn't do it.
I like to build a final bite, and sometimes that might be just the fun carbs, or sometimes it might be like everything. But I always do look at, I kind of plan, okay, this part's going to be my final bite that I will enjoy the most.
That has been a Just Me or Everyone before, I think, that people like to plan a final bite. My friend Katie loved pizza. She's a super unusual, unique person in that she loves pizza, but she would eat around one piece of pepperoni, and her last bite would just be a pepperoni with pizza under it. It was like perfect. The perfect mini pizza.
That's so smart. Oh, I'm going to do that. That's
pretty
so
fun.
Great.
Yeah.
I do like with a plate of food, the obvious one is Thanksgiving with the turkey and the gravy and the stuffing and the mashed. They all go together. So, of course, you shouldn't do them individually. You should let them blend and let them, it's like America. Let them all come together, make stronger as one. But you make the candy thing is a good point. Lick-O-Maid, which still exists, I'm pleased to report. I've discovered this. My kids enjoy it now. But Lick-O-Maid, I always felt, or I didn't feel it at the time, but I came to realize as an adult, was a disciplinary test for children. It taught you self-control because, like you say, Allison, the lime sucks. The lime flavor is no good. It's just you have to get through it. It's utilitarian at best. It makes you appreciate the good flavor that is the pink, aka cherry, and then the purple is in between. But they would give you the 3 separate packets of the flavored sugar, but only 2 of the sticks. Which, by the way, if they sold the sticks standalone, you would get them because they were good. They were vanilla and subtle, but very nice to eat on their own. But they only gave you the 2 sticks. And if you had no discipline as a child, and if you were too aggressive, you could crack one of those Lick-O-Maid things. And if you crack the white thing, it has no value except as candy itself. It's not a utensil anymore. It can't be used for that. So you have to monitor how aggressive you're being, and you have to use it sparingly, enough at least so that you have a full stick to go in on the main event, the pink, aka the cherry.
I agree pink is best. Now, I would put grape at the bottom. Grape is worse than lime for me. Daniel and I, this is a point of contention in our marriage.
Well,
my feelings about grape. Artificial
it just
grape.
means that I get to have grape when You don't want it, so I get to have the grape.
Yeah.
Jelly beans or whatever.
All right.
Grape candy. Whoa. You want to open up a can of worms? I mean, listen, it's open now. Grape candy flavor is a fascinating thing because grapes don't taste like grape candy. It is the grape candy flavor is the farthest away from the fruit it is intended to represent in the entire fruit kingdom. And it's a Concord grape flavored, but everybody signs off all grape candies, same exact flavor, but it's not the grape flavor that we all enjoy when we eat seedless reds. And I'm not talking about the cotton candies now. No. You understand?
Interesting. Yeah,
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I say let's close the gap and get it more toward what an actual grape tastes like.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's exactly right. And the one that best approximates the fruit it's intended, since you're wondering, is generally green apple. Green apple does a really nice. You ever have a green apple Jolly Rancher?
Ooh.
Peach Jolly Rancher too.
Peach
well done,
is pretty
Betsy.
good. Yeah.
Peach is good. This is Betsy's
But
on the nose.
green apple is pretty accurate.
All right, let's go around. Worst candy. I'll start because there's one that I'm thinking about and it's bothering me that it even exists.
Candy in general or just flavor?
Worst candy in general. All right, here we go. Candy buttons. Those things, it's like adding machine tape with little
that
dots.
Was mine.
They're terrible. You
those are
eat
bad.
paper. It's so gross. What's the point?
Yeah, I remember those and just truly eating so much paper on it.
So I say no to those. Who else has a candy they hate?
I hate Good and Plenties.
Oh, interesting. I kind of like them. Do you hate?
Ew!
I'm
what?
sorry.
They're so gross.
Do you hate
The
Black
white and
licorice?
pink ones or the multicolored ones?
Multicolored, but aren't they all the same nasty licorice flavor?
No, there's good
The
and
white and
fruities.
pinks are licorice, and those are even worse than the fruit variety ones.
Those are-
no, then the white and pink ones.
Yeah,
I didn't
those
even know
stink.
they had a fruit variety.
Yeah, there's good and fruities, which are the variety, and they don't even taste like fruit, but they're fruity. And then there's the good and plenties, which are white and pink, and those are black licorice. And I'm okay with them. I enjoy a candy shell. I enjoy some black. Do you hate black licorice?
Yes, I can't handle it one bit.
Well, there you go.
Can't
grown to
handle it
like
one
it.
bit.
So I'll throw two. Since my worst has already been mentioned, I'll say two that I'm not a huge fan of. One, the Boston baked beans. Not a fan. Too crunchy. Like they're just not satisfying.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember what the other one was. Oh, dots. Too chewy. They get too stuck in your teeth.
Oh,
You got to ease off. You got to get to that. Like,
jujubes you could charge with the same crime,
Yeah.
and they'll really tug at the fillings.
yeah, I feel like they need to get with the Swedish fish people and get closer to that. That's the right,
Yeah, I like Swedish fish have a good consistency. I feel like I recently locked horns with someone on Twitter or in real life over Swedish fish because they were like, "Is there anything worse than Swedish fish?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, genocide.
yeah, there's a lot, dude.
I can think of lots of things.
Yeah, Dave, what about you?
I think our most overrated ingredient in dessert stuff is marshmallow.
Oh,
Marshmallow. I don't know where it gets off with all the affection people have for marshmallow. What does it exactly contribute to anything? I'm not above a s'more, but I think you can get away with a nice s'more and not have the marshmallow on it. The melted chocolate and the graham cracker is more important. The marshmallow, even in its best concoction, is at best a distant third in that recipe. And otherwise, I don't understand when people like marshmallow flavoring. It's also, you know what's a close cousin to that? White chocolate, also not good.
I disagree.
White chocolate.
I enjoy white chocolate.
We made s'mores, but instead of graham crackers with chocolate chip cookies, and that ruled.
That does sound good.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I heard someone recently refer to a singular s'more as a s'mores. And I thought, I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe that's right.
Oh.
Thumbs down.
That's emotionally how I felt about it.
Marshmallow topping is one of those things, whenever I think about it in the grocery store, I think, how is it that enough people buy this to keep it stocked in the grocery store?
Yes.
Ain't that right about so many? They've kind of gone the way of the dodo bird on like Food Network, but there was a time, maybe a decade, 15 years ago, where there were always those like episodic documentaries about like, let's go to the honey factory and see what goes on. And it's always this conveyor belt of like thousands and thousands and thousands of things of honey being generated every hour, and like people obsessively watching them, like Lucy on the old show or Laverne and Shirley and everything. And it's like, how is there this much honey being consumed?
Yeah.
I can't fathom that there are that many people out there looking for new honey. I got to get a new thing of honey. Like if you buy a honey, doesn't it last for like 2 years? So even if you are even if you have great affection for honey, how much honey are you using in one before you have to go get a new jar of it? I'm fascinated by it.
Yeah, in my imagination, at the marshmallow topping factory, it's like just a room. They package it up for the year, and that's it. That's like that one.
We're
Like
here for
4
one
days of
day.
work. Like 4. It's my busy season. We got to go in for 3.5 days and do the year's work of marshmallow making. Hit me up though after that, because then my schedule's wide open for like 11 months and 3 weeks.
Exactly.
Tony, what about you?
Well, I'll say two things. What overall flavor that I think I've talked about this before, that I don't like anything flavored this way or the actual thing. I am very anti-banana. Do not like bananas in any way.
Okay.
As a candy for sure. I don't like the texture of the real thing either, but
Yeah, I don't like anything about it. And then as far as specific candies, I'm surprised no one said this. And I'm going to answer musically. This is not my musical answer, but this is my friends Paul and Storm, and they have this. It's literally a 10-second song, and here's my answer through my friends Paul and Storm.
Well, that's Necco wafers, the candy that nobody likes.
I mean, I think a candy button is worse, but Necco wafer, because what flavor is it? Clove?
Chalk.
Yeah, it's chalk.
Yeah, chalk.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty Depression era feeling.
Yeah, those like old-timey novelty candies are always disappointing.
And yet an old-timey novelty candy store is fun to walk into.
My stepdad used to eat all the time lavender-flavored candies, little like, they come in those like oval tins. And that's always like, okay, it's like sweet flour.
Oh.
Dawn of this millennium, it felt like we were really heading in a new and exciting direction. I've celebrated before that, all a man's recorded history. It's neat to be alive for tentpole events, in man's recorded history. And someone around 2002 or thereabouts was like, what if delicious dark chocolate, what if we throw some sea salt in there with it, some kosher salt in there with it, and it sings? It's delicious, and no one's ever had it except for those of us walking the big blue marble now. It was a great run, or at least it seemed like better days were ahead. But now I'm with you on the old-timey candies are gross, but also the new ones are all extreme. They don't have the E. It's like extreme, sour. And they're like, it's too much. Like I feel like a curmudgeon when I see it, but I can tell by looking. It's like liquids that are super. I don't know who decided that all candies or most of them now should be sours, and why so many kids have proven to be dupes and suckers. The man feeding them the sour jazz, and they're like, give us more, man. I don't care for any of it.
Well, not our guys, because I don't know why we have the apocalypse size bag of Pez candies, but Elliot and Owen have been working through some Pez for like a year now. But all that's left now, they also make extreme sour Pez, and no one likes them. Owen will accept them, He's a little more
Elliot
agreeable.
will eat the sour apple one, but
Oh, he will. But they don't. That's not what they want. It's not the first choice. It went last.
But
I mean,
I'm with you,
Owen's a
Dave,
good
and
guy,
It's frustrating because when you go to buy gummy candy, like so often you'll accidentally just. Most of them now are just sour gummy. I just want plain ass gummy. You know, I went to get like peach rings for the boys, thinking they'd like it. Sour peach rings. Like what?
I can get behind some sour gummies.
Yes,
I
but
think
that's
they're
like
pretty
that should be the
fun.
exception.
True.
You know what I mean? Like.
Not the main event, you know?
Yeah.
You bring them in. It's like bringing in a lefty closer to face one or two batters, and then it's back to normal. But you don't just say, like, let's run the middle reliever the whole game. Nobody wants that.
Crazy.
Allison knows what I'm talking about.
I know what you're I've made that same point. I think it all started with, remember when Sour Patch Kids were the outliers? And now everything's a Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah.
And not to get on the whole like these kids today kind of trip, but it's like don't act like sour is as extreme as a Fireball, because it ain't.
Dude.
I can handle sour any day.
Dude.
Right?
Yeah. Fireballs, man. Those were like in like fourth grade, like you were cool if you could eat a bunch of those in one day. You know, like that was extreme. And just like, yeah, you rule, man. Like I remember just like kind of prepping myself, be like, it's gonna be good. You're gonna burn your tongue, but it's gonna be worth it, man. Yeah,
Do they still make those?
they got to, right?
I think so.
Justin is going to be blown away. I suck on this Fireball for the entire class. Whoa.
Wilma.
So's the dog.
That was a Wilma.
Yeah, the sour. Yeah, the that was the same. That's another bad candy too. Is the Jawbreaker, the one that like what is it called? It's called a Jawbreaker. The one that just sucks forever, right?
Yeah.
The one that just keeps going and it has all the flavors, but nobody ever tells you that every flavor sucks. It might it might have a slight difference from the one that came before it, but the one thing it has in common with its predecessor is they both suck.
And just kids working on them for like months and just pulling them out of the same nasty bag and just like not enjoying it one bit, but be like, I gotta finish it, man.
Yeah, I have a memory of trying to bite down on a Jawbreaker, like just running out of patience and just like really risking my teeth by trying to bite on it. Well, this has been a fun trip around the candy aisle and also a super duper fun episode. I want to remind you guys, if you enjoy what you're hearing, please make sure you're subscribed or following or whatever the language is in your app of choice. And please, if you like what you're hearing, please leave us a nice comment on Apple Podcasts. We're overdue for doing an iTunes Comments of the Week, so I will do that soon. So get those comments in, 5 stars, please. And I'm on Cameo. I already mentioned Patreon, of course. What am I forgetting?
Hell yeah.
What am I forgetting? Follow me on social media at Allison Rosen on Twitter and Instagram. And send in your Just Me or Everyone's or your Which is Worse. If you do Which is Worse, use hashtag worse to tweet them to at ARIYNBF. Betsy, where can we find you? What should we look out for?
Oh my. You can follow me on Instagram at Betsy Sidaro. And then I have a couple podcasts. One's A Funny Feeling, where me and Marcy Jarro, we talk to our friends about paranormal experiences they've had and stuff. And then another one called We Love Trash that's on Patreon, where me and Mono Agapian just celebrate everything that's trashy and nasty. Yeah.
Love
Check
it.
them out.
Dave, what about you?
We Love Trash. I'm checking that one out. I do. I talk sports, and Allison knows that. She loves it. And it's -3, and it's extra points with Cousin Sal and Kevin Hench. And football season's here. If you care about that, then check these shows out. Otherwise, screw.
Daniel, what about you?
You can find me at Daniel Quantz, Twitter and Instagram. And also, I'm very excited to announce, Quabi, we got the second round of funding, but they want to turn it into a what do you call it? What's a Bitcoin? God damn it.
A cryptocurrency?
Cryptocurrency, Quabi coin.
Oh, that's good.
So, I don't know. We're going to do a take two.
Do you want to do it
It's a
again?
hot pitch.
No. It's fine. It's a stupid bit.
I'm definitely going to buy a lot of Quabi coin. How's it priced right now?
I don't know. We're going in at $1. What is that? How does that work?
I have no idea.
All
No
the
clue.
influencers are doing this now, right? They all got their like cryptos.
Is it an NFT? I don't know what any of these things are.
No. Yeah, I'm going to do an NFT too. Why not? Just
Dude,
you guys got to invest your money.
Do it. Okay. And Tony, what about you?
Twitter and Instagram at
Tony Thaxton.
and my podcast Bizarre Albums every Tuesday. And also, if you're in the LA area, September 2nd, I'm going to be playing at the Federal in North Hollywood with Don't Stop or We'll Die. And I'm also playing with Townland, the opening band, which is our friend Matt Gorley's band. So come out
Nice.
if you're in the LA area, September 2nd.
Wonderful. Thank you guys so much. This was truly super duper fun. Listeners, thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Allison Rosen show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. Yeah, Allison Rosen